Hey, it's me, Unapologetically T, and I'm here, and I wanted to talk about the great debate of who's worse, men or women. And I mean, any race can get into this conversation, but I mainly want to talk to my darker, not even my darker skin, my black people who identify as black, because we come in all shades and color. But if you identify as black, this conversation is for you. But it can go for any race, because I know there is a battle between men and women, and I just need us to put it to rest. We got a lot going on in this world, and the last thing we need to be doing is fighting amongst each other, like who is worse. There is so much beauty in both man and woman. Baby, I don't know what's going on where women, I mean, I do know, so let me change that. I do know. Colonization has happened, and it has done a big number on men and women. There is a conditioning that has happened to men and women about the value of not only themselves, because the root cause is the value of how you value yourself. It's going to be the way that you value your other part. We're literally counterparts of each other, man and woman. Literally, it's in the word, and it literally is supposed to be womb man, because the woman has the womb, and then so she's womb man. And then there is, man. So literally, we are counterparts to each other. And definitely when you're thinking about the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and we even can include ideologies around polygamy in this too. So let me just get to the background knowledge of how colonization has destroyed the way we value ourselves. You can look at history on how colonization has had effects on black Americans, black people, period, around this world that identify as black, or whatever you identify with. If you are of black, African descent, or indigenous of any land, because we gotta stop separating the narrative. Like, we spread it out, and black men were on all parts of this earth, including motherfucking Europe. They won't tell you that the Moors, literally, which means black and dark in Greek, literally ruled Europe, and they were black royals. They literally had their own system for kings and queens all over this world. So everybody had different systems. Like Hawaii had, queens and kings and all that stuff. Like, literally deep history, deep culture for indigenous people all around this world. All different shades, but life definitely is the black man and woman. We've just removed ourselves from that, and we let society label us with these different terms for race. We're literally a human race, and that is why colonization has been effective, because it has been able to have a hierarchy system of who's the most deplorable. So you're deplorable, you're the most deplorable. All these class systems and all that stuff, social economic status, like all that stuff is used to divide. And it all started out from the white supremacist angle. So literally, just psychological damage was done to self-worth and self-value, to the point, like, it was even to the smallest degree of, during Jim Crow, they wouldn't even let black people have vanilla ice cream. They could only have chocolate. They wouldn't even let them have vanilla ice cream. So, like, when you see sometimes, like, black men fetishizing white women, it's because it was forbidden. Sometimes these black men don't even, it's not a love thing. It is a fetish. It is a fetish that they have. And vice versa with other people, with black women. It is a fetish that they have. I am not saying that some people do not love, interracial couples don't love each other. I've met some beautiful interracial couples, and I feel like love is not based on race. It's based on what you have in your heart and all that stuff. So like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the ones that actually use it to fetishize, use it as a preference to tear down the other part. So like, when you hear a black man say like, oh, I don't want to be with a black woman because she's too loud. Bitch, there's loud white women. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. How about you pick a not loud black woman then, if that's the argument? Just say you don't like black women. You hate your own kind. You hate your mama and you hate you. So like, and the vice versa, I hear it too. Black women, you know, then gave up on black men like they ain't shit. And it's like, let's normalize you picked ain't shit men. But we won't have these conversations because it makes us take accountability. And baby, I have been on that train of I hate niggas and they ain't shit and all that stuff. But one thing I didn't do is give up on black people, period. Like, because I feel like bitches ain't shit either. But I ain't give up on black people, period, because at the end of the day, that was my experience with this small ass population of a whole. It was a small ass population of a whole that I chose to deal with. I chose singularly, I made that decision to deal with these people. And through my healing, I've been afforded to see why I was choosing to deal with these type of people. Let's normalize healing ourselves so that we can have loving and trusting relationships. Let's normalize not generalizing issues with partnership as a reflection of a whole sex. How about when you're venting about a partnership, you vent about that partnership. You don't generalize women as a whole. You don't generalize men as a whole as being ain't shit. It is the ones you have encountered or you have chose that you realize ain't shit. You haven't even touched enough of the population to say that it is all these niggas ain't shit and these bitches ain't shit. Like, you get to a point and you're healing, like you start to reflect back on that shit and be like, oh my God, that shit sounded, I sound ignorant. I sound fucking ignorant. That bitch I chose ain't shit. That nigga I chose ain't shit. Shit, maybe I want shit. Maybe I want shit at the time. Let's normalize that one. Say it with me. I want shit at the time, or I didn't value myself properly as shit at the time, or I did value myself as shit at the time. Like, you know, our words have different meanings. It's all about your intention and how you say it. So, literally, like, when I hear anyone overgeneralizing how men is versus how women is, and it is in this so negative, fucked up view, all you're doing is allowing me to know that you're wounded. You got some healing to do, and it's okay. I don't judge you and condemn you as you are, you know, the sexes, as you is doing the sexes, but it just let me know that you got some healing to do, and it lets me know that you have had a negative experience in partnership with the opposite sex. And I literally think once we normalize healing and we normalize taking accountability for the partners we pick, we're gonna keep ending up in this abusive cycle, like of niggas ain't shit and bitches ain't shit, and then you just gonna keep ending up with that ain't shit bitch and that ain't shit nigga, because they just gonna change. They're gonna change bodysuits, but you're gonna end up with the same lesson until you realize that's what you need to heal within yourself. So And I say that from experience, and I say that from years of abuse and putting up with abusive people. And it wasn't just in my romantic partnership. It was in my friendships. It was in all kind of ways. I have showed up as abusive. Like, I have showed up as abusive. I was abusive. I was not the perfect person in these relationships. Like, how can you expect a person? I mean, I do look back, and I showed up pretty fucking well, because I should have been completely a whole psychopath, even though I do identify with that as well. But I do realize I have feelings, so I don't fully quite meet the criteria. But definitely, I'm definitely off over here. Got some screws loose. And so, and I can admit that. Like, I can really admit that. And I'm not embarrassed or ashamed of it. Obviously, I'm gonna need it one day. And I needed it some days back then. I needed it. I only feel bad. I pulled out too soon. I only feel bad when I hurt somebody that's innocent. I don't feel bad anymore if I hurt somebody who is guilty. If you did something to me, and you got a reaction, like, that's what you was looking for. So I literally want us to normalize us realizing we are flawed, and if we are picking certain people who ain't shit, then we got to start looking at ourselves of like, why did we pick that? Why did we stay? You could have stayed a month. Why did you stay a month? What made you stay that month? What made you stay the 2 years? What made you stay 10 years? Like, it don't matter the time period for real. Like, but what attracted you to that? Because there are plenty of women out here who are the bomb. There are plenty of men out here who got it together. So what's in you that, you know, you want to base that small population you experience on all people? If you keep attracting abusive cycles and abusive people, and they ain't even got to be extremely abusive, it's just like, if you keep picking people like that's manipulative, like overly manipulative, or just, you know, moderately abusive, what is it that you're dealing with that makes you feel like it's okay, that attracts you to that, even if it's for a little while? So I say that to say, like, we gotta normalize that, like, the population of men and women aren't the problem. It's not the sex. The sex is not the problem. The problem is unhealed views of masculinity, unhealed, like, views of femininity. A lot of people are walking around with misconceptions of what it means to be feminine, what it means to be masculine. Like, I thought some of my masculine energy was masculine. Like, a lot of this dark shit be my feminine energy. Like, a lot of my rah be my feminine energy. I was thinking it was like, you know, my masculine. So it's like a lot of different things that we need to look at, like, because we have both. We have both. We all have both in us. We all have masculine energy and feminine energy, no matter what sex you was born as, even biologically. So when we want to get to this physical realm, if you don't want to talk about the spiritual realm, even though they both go hand in hand, biologically, like, literally, we have testosterone and estrogen in both of us. Like, so men have estrogen. They just supposed to have lower levels on average. But, like, every man is different. So every man comes with different levels of estrogen and all that stuff. So, like, literally the same for if you're biologically born female. You literally have testosterone in you. Depending on, you know, genetics wise, is the levels of it. So like, we're literally both, and we literally have to come from a lens of healing. We literally have to come from a lens of honoring each other. Like, oh my gosh, the black man is nothing above it for me. And that's just me, that's my opinion. But I feel like if you're another race, you gotta learn to love and value yourself. I don't even think me as a black woman would have to even say that to another race, but because my race was put down so much, the reason like we have to be so prideful about ourselves is because literally it was condemned for us to have self-love and self-pride. If you would have never oppressed us and made us feel like shit, like, we wouldn't have to have black pride that's that blatant and loud. We have to have black pride that's loud because you have silenced us. You have caused us to hate ourselves for being just black. Just being black is a stain. So, like, that's why it is very imperative. We're building self-esteem. That's why you hear, if you're uneducated and you're ignorant and our black pride gets on your nerves, and us supporting our black men and saying we love black men, or black men saying he love black women. For the ignorant, basically we have to do this because literally you have made us hate ourselves and each other. And so we're building self-esteem. When you have children and you sit them down and you do positive affirmations with them and you tell them that they're big, they're kind, they're strong, they're beautiful, that's what we're doing to ourselves as adults. Like, we're doing this as an adult, and we're doing this on a community level. We're doing this on so many different levels, an individual one, a worldwide one. Like, we ain't doing this because of how y'all did it. Now, y'all pride is the one that's caused damage. Y'all pride has been detrimental. Our pride is trying to teach us to love ourselves, to love each other, not to hate y'all. Y'all pride taught y'all to hate us and to make us hate ourselves. So I had to just explain that for whoever needed to hear that. And even if you're a black person and you feel guilty because you do have pride, because sometimes that does happen. Like, people don't talk about that. Like, you'll feel like, well, maybe I should make myself small. No, the fuck you shouldn't. That is conditioning from colonization. Be black and be proud. I'm black and I'm proud. And that culture was to help build esteem in being black. It was never used to oppress someone else or to be over someone else. And that's where white people have it confused. Your pride hurts people. Our pride uplifts. But I do want black men to know that you are beyond valuable to our culture, to our households, to our family unit, to our communities. Like, you are so valuable. You are like a necessity. We have to stop bashing a whole population based off of our experience. And I want to say to black women, you are more than enough. You are more than just someone's motherfucking sex thing. Like, you're more than just someone's sex thing. You're literally so much to the whole dynamic of it. You're great on your own. Both male and female are great on their own, but we're so much stronger together. So much stronger together. But the black woman is so valuable. She's so valuable. You can turn nothing into something, and so can the man. Like, we all have these beautiful parts and beautiful gifts that, once married together, it's unstoppable. So we need to get our shit together. And I feel like I've had this rant in another video, so if it comes up again, I mean, it needs to be heard again and maybe said in maybe a different way. But I do have like deja vu that I said this, but maybe I'm tripping. But I've done some videos, so I don't know. But literally, I literally look at it like our men are our physical protectors and the woman is the spiritual protector. And if we teach each other how to do both of our things that we are weaker at, we become such a fucking united force that it is unstoppable. Imagine mastering both. Imagine mastering both once you learn to love and value each other. But you gotta heal on an individual level. You can't keep trying to come into these relationships unhealed. I'm guilty of it. I definitely craved partnership, obsessed over partnership because I didn't want to be alone. But what I needed to be was alone. I needed to work on my own shit. I needed to see myself. I needed to, if I can't sit with myself, why the fuck should somebody else be sitting with me? It's like I needed to work out my own issues. It doesn't mean that you have to come into a relationship completely with it figured out, completely this healed thing, we're ever evolving. But it does mean that sometimes you just need a break. Sometimes you need a break and you need to figure you out. Sometimes you need to close the legs and just figure you out. Sometimes you need to put the pistol away and just figure you out. Another thing I wanted to discuss was biologically. I want to say like, okay, women view a man is that he's hypersexual, he has no loyalty or commitment, all that stuff. I don't want to get into that, but I do know like an argument for men that is only partly valid. It's only partly valid because if that's what you want, then that is what you lead with. But biologically, men literally can produce seeds in multiple, women, and they were kind of made to like be fruitful and multiply. However, that is being taken advantage of, and I will say too, biologically there are a higher ratio of women to men, so that means that some women will not get a partner if we are all being monogamous, which leads me to say that I still believe in monogamy, and I want monogamy. I don't want to be with nobody who wants to be with multiple people. Literally, what I do want though to make clear is that I also believe in poly. I do believe that if a man is straightforward, he is straight up, and he is saying this is what I want, and the women are consenting and they are signing up to have a village, and a nigga ain't just out here just dipping, dabbing, and he's actually literally building and creating a family. I feel like that is probably done for the betterment of society, because you're taking on this as your responsibility. Even in Islam, like, a man can't be poly if he can't take care of the family. Like, you can't afford your wife or wives, then you can't have them. You're only supposed to do this with responsibility. It is not just, I am going out there and going to create this empire of wives and have all these kids, and I can't afford to take care of them. So like, you're supposed to do this with rules and boundaries. So literally, I am for poly if that is what the consenting adults want, and it is done where things are being taken care of. The people are agreeing what's going on. I've seen poly done and it just looked like cheating. I've seen poly done and it just looked like people want to be in open, relationships. Like, if that's what you want, that's what you want. Do what makes you happy. But my thing is, don't be dishonest. Don't be dishonest. And all of it, there should be honesty. Consenting adults. I also want to say to the men who think it's okay to go spreading your seeds across this goddamn planet and not taking care of your kids, you're gonna feel it. You can't just get away with that. Those kids signed up to be here, and you signed them up to be here too. Like, so you should be involved and be a father and be there in those children's lives. And I do say that, like, unless you're rich, you really can't do that appropriately. Even if you're rich, you got to make sure you have the time to spend in these broken ass households that you created. So, like, just when you're using that whole fruitful and multiply, like, use your fruitful ass mind and think about it logically, and make sure that you're doing things responsibly so that these kids don't get hurt. Because it's about having a generation of children who will make this planet better. So, and leaving the planet in those hands. So, literally, what I'm trying to say is, just because genetically you can, spread your seed, doesn't mean that you should. Let's normalize that, and let's normalize it not being an excuse for you to be hypersexual and irresponsible. You literally, as a man, should be able to be self-disciplined and in that area. You shouldn't be just saying, like, I'm a man and my dick get hard, when I wake up and all that shit. And, like, even with the wet dream shit, like, I've had plenty of times where I've had a climax in my sleep. Maybe it's not what y'all go through, but, like, I've had a great time and I've woke up happy and satisfied. I don't know, but y'all think stuff is just synonymous to you. I have literally had moments where I'm turned the fuck on and I have to have discipline. Just because I'm a woman doesn't mean that I don't, see another man and find him attractive. I think the discipline in it is that I can see another person and be committed to someone else and say they're attractive, but I would never jeopardize what I have for someone else. It's not that I don't see other people. It's not that I don't find other people attractive. It's that the person that I'm with, I have committed to them, and I would never jeopardize what I have for someone else, or I don't need to be with them. Like, so it's about disciplining me on both sides. The argument about which one cheats the most, I don't give a fuck. How about let's normalize picking people that aren't gonna cheat on you? If they cheat the first time, like, you literally allow them to figure their life out. And then you can have instances where you can give a second chance, but if they cheat the second time, please believe the second time. And I say this from experience. I stayed. That was my first relationship that I stayed. I stayed in that relationship for like 11 years. Every other relationship, if a man cheated on me, baby, we might gonna fight and then bye, and then it's definitely gonna be a bye. So that was like my first relationship where I stayed over and over again. So I'm not judging if you do stay, but I'm just saying let's normalize, like, not demonizing the whole female population or the whole male population because of the experiences you've had. Let's, like, stop doing that, because it's no point. Men lie, women lie. If they're unhealthy and unhealed, they gonna be liars. They gonna be cheaters if they're unhealthy and unhealed. So let's normalize saying things like, I chose an unhealthy and unhealed partner. Not that all women ain't shit. Let's normalize women saying, I chose an unhealthy and unhealed partner. Not that all men ain't shit. Let's normalize when we break up out of these unhealthy partnerships that we take time to heal ourselves. And I say this with so much love and compassion to myself, because, oh my God, did I not want to be by myself? The scariest shit ever. Definitely didn't want to be alone. But I thank God that, like, God don't always let me drive, the ship sometimes. Because, like, I would say, like, God protects me. Because I definitely needed this time to sit with myself. And if God think that I need more time, like, no matter how much it'll hurt, no matter how much, like, pain, I have, that mean I still maybe need to work on some things. And, like, but I do feel like I'm getting to a point where, like, I'm ready to start, like, dating. I want to start, like, just continuing to be in my craft. the mini crafts I have. Like, it's so many so many things I have my hand in. But just like, I just want to have balance in having my own personal life, my own work life, and like just also like being a mom. And then also I want to go out and have fun. Like, I want to go out and have fun, date, and just see what's out there, try again. But with the caution to know that if I sense abuse, if it doesn't feel right, if it's avoidant, if it's too anxious, like, it's not for me. And being able to realize, like, I am responsible for vetting for vetting what comes and stays, like, in my life. So what comes and goes and stays in my life, I'm responsible for vetting that. I have to take accountability that, like, for years I was picking ancient men because I did not value myself. I did not love myself. And we have to normalize that so that we can work on rebuilding the Black community, rebuilding the Black family unit. Like, we have to. Like, we just can't keep sitting there turning each other down. We gotta heal. Regardless of who fault it is, we're in this situation, regardless of who started it all, because you know I always say it started from colonization. Now you know where it started. It is now up to you to heal it, fix it, and pick wisely. Choose wisely. Choose your friendships wisely. Choose your partners wisely. Choose your village wisely. Because if you don't, that is the way the empires fall. That is the way the empires you build fall. So, like, choose wisely. And let's stop doing this to each other. I'm going to end this. And I hope y'all have a good day.